What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, and we are back with another stream here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. Shout out to the members here on the channel. Shout out to everybody on Patreon. And if you are on Patreon, y'all know what day it is. It is Tuesday. So that means y'all will be getting a new video this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to those in the Discord. Make sure y'all join the Discord just in case y'all don't get notified for any lives or videos that I do. The notification will definitely go out over there. Everyone on Instagram and X who sends me stories as well as the Discord, I greatly appreciate that as well. So now let me go ahead and get into these acknowledgments. We have Raging Woody, Janesta, Denise, Earl, Miss Renee, Black Rooster, Dimple Face, Reparation Nation, Trill Fate, Chris Vesey, Bills Fan 1970, Derry B, The Church of Black Power, Scoop 2003, Catsy, Crew Reality, John Guillory, Eric H, and that is, hold on, there's some more people coming in. Don P, Ben Yehuda, Leonard DeYuda. What's going on? Mari Marie. What's going on? What's going on? Make sure y'all go ahead and please hit the like button. I will greatly appreciate it. So, as y'all can tell by the title, today we are going to be talking about the Olympic gymnast Jordan Chiles, who was representing the U.S. women's gymnastics teams at this Paris Olympics that just ended this past Saturday. Well, this past Sunday, the closing ceremony was 2 days ago. And she was there with her team, as you may or may not know, in the all around, which was what the team all around. The team itself won gold. And then she competed in the women's individual, in which she ended up getting bronze, at least for a few days, because now it has been very controversial because of something that recently just came out, in which Jordan may not be able to keep her bronze medal and probably end up getting knocked down to 5th place. Yes, she might end up getting knocked down 2 whole spots. Now, when I first heard about this, I saw it on Facebook. I just happened to be scrolling on Facebook because people were talking about the U.S. men's basketball team and everything like that. And then I had scrolled and I had saw a post from somebody on there, and they said something about what had happened, and I didn't know what was going on. So then I went on to X and I saw Jordan Chiles trending. And then when I clicked on it, I said, wait a minute, hold on, what's really going on here? And then after that, I started to see a whole bunch of other stuff come up related to this. This is probably going to be one of those. This stream is probably going to definitely be a little bit longer than the one that I did yesterday. The yesterday was pretty simple and straight to the point, but this one has a lot of layers to it. So I tried to arrange these articles in some type of order. It's just that when stuff happens so fast, you got to try to keep up with it. And a lot of times when it comes to stories like this, I like to get the articles as they come, put them in my inbox, or send them to myself, and then have them in some kind of sequential order. So some might be a little out of order, but I'm trying to go in some kind of order as far as events go with this particular story. So let me go ahead now and share the screen and start with this article right here. This is probably one of the more earliest articles that I could find, mainly because of the date. It was from the 10th, and it's coming from CNN. It says American gymnast Jordan Chiles bronze medal in floor exercise in doubt after a CAS ruling. Mind you, she's already competed. She's already got the medal. She's done so many interviews about it and everything like that. Imagine you doing all of that just to say, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, we might have to get that back up off you. This is days after she's already got it, y'all. Mind you, because the gymnastics portion had already ended. They already had ended a couple of days prior to this. While a lot of other events were going on, gymnastics was already done. This was actually like the last gymnastics-based event right here. So let me go ahead and read and see what they're talking about. It says the Court of Arbitration for Sports, or the CAS, ruled on Saturday that the initial inquiry made by the USA over Jordan Child's score in Monday's gymnastic floor exercise final was filed after the 1 minute deadline. That means that Child's score is being reverted to the original 13.666, which was only good enough for fifth place. It's unclear as of Saturday what that means for the bronze medal that Childs was awarded. The competition on Monday ended in dramatic fashion immediately after the competition finished on Monday with Child's routine. Romanian gymnast Ana Barbosu thought she had won the bronze medal after posting a score of 13.7. Childs had initially posted a score of 13.6, but her coaches successfully challenged the difficulty score, which added 0.1 to her score and moved her up to third behind gold medalist Rebecca Andrade and American Simone Biles. Now, in case y'all were unaware, the two people that were above Jordan when she had fifth place were both Romanian gymnasts. So the fourth place, the one in fourth place was Romanian, and the one they initially had as third for the bronze was also Romanian. Now I actually did see this in real time, and they did have Jordan in fifth, and they had the Ana Barbosu girl as third. But then when they came back and on the announcement on the intercom, they said, "Oh, there's been a change. There's been an inquiry with the score." And then that's when they had announced that Jordan had got the bronze and that the other girl was fifth. Their appearance together on the first all-black Olympic gymnastics podium produced one of the most iconic images of the games as the Americans bowed down to Andrade. I want y'all, there it is right there. I truly believe that's what they didn't like seeing. I truly believe that's what they didn't like seeing. As a matter of fact, I wasn't going to jump ahead with this, but since they brought it up now, I'm going to show you something. Y'all see this picture right here? Y'all see this picture right here? This right here, this picture most likely got them so riled up. They probably haven't seen an Olympic picture that iconic since those two black power fists were raised back in the 60s. This image right here is what they did not like to see. And to add on to it, this one they really didn't like. Now, to my knowledge, from based on interviews that I saw with Simone Biles, the idea to do this was Jordan's idea. Now, how ironic that this image goes super viral, as well as the one I just showed you after that win, after they all got their medal, and then a couple days later, it leads to her being stripped of her bronze medal. I'm not trying to put on the tinfoil do-rag, but my spidey senses are tingling. Let's continue. However, CAS ruled that the inquiry submitted on behalf of Childs was raised after the conclusion of the 1 minute deadline stipulated in the regulation and is determined to be without effect. The court added that the International Gymnastics Federation, or FIG, will determine the ranking of the final. CNN has reached out to the FIG to ask what their ruling will be, whether Child's medal will be revoked. Now, of course, like I said, I'm reading this in some kind of order, so we kind of like going to the past and working our way up to the present with this. In a joint statement, USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee said they were devastated by the ruling that the inquiry into Child's routine was filed in good faith and we believed in accordance with FIG rules. They added that Childs has been subject to consistent, utterly baseless, and extremely hurtful attacks on social media, which they condemned. And I'm going to talk about that in another article. CNN has reached out to USA Gymnastics for more information. The Romanian Gymnastic Federation, or the RGF, said, "With one eye we laugh, with one we cry," as CAS ruled Barbosu should get the bronze medal. Congratulations to both of our gymnasts for the special result obtained at the Olympic Games in Paris, said RGF lawyer Sabin Gerdin in a statement. Romanian Prime Minister Marcel, I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm going to say Marcel C., had earlier said he refused to attend the Olympics closing ceremony in protest over the women's floor exercise final. He said in a statement on Wednesday that Ana Barbosu and Sabrina Vornia were treated, quote, in an absolutely dishonorable way by the judges in the floor final. When it all boils down to it, really the true villains of this story are the judges. The judges are the ones who are to hold full blame in this. Barbosu finished in fourth place in a stunning turn of events involving American gymnast Jordan Childs' routine, and Maneka Vornia, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing these names, was given a point 0.1 penalty for leaving the floor exercise mat, though it did not appear she actually stepped out of bounds. It is unacceptable that in a competition of this magnitude, which promotes values such as respect, understanding, and excellence, a girl who had honestly won her medal should be brutally deprived of the result of her work for 4 years. I couldn't look at her tears and accept with serenity that such a thing is perfectly normal. He added, in the fact that hundreds of millions of viewers from all over the world were like us Romanians, effectively shocked by this terrible scene, shows that somewhere in the system of organizing this competition, something is wrong. Childs posted on her Instagram story 4 breaking heart emojis and saying, I am taking this time and removing myself from social media for my mental health. Thank you. And that's the whole article right there. East Point said, I'm so glad that the Olympics, the 2028 Olympics are back in the U.S. Didn't love anything about Paris hosting it. It has been some shady stuff, I will say, that's been going on with the at the Paris Olympics, especially with the black athletes. Like it was some shady stuff going on over there. And even with some of the black people that were in attendance, like that whole situation with Aisha Curry and her son. But we all know that France has a history. I'll put it like that. Has a history to them. Let me go on now to the next article. So this one was posted the next day on the 11th, which is now 2 days ago. It says U.S. appeals decision that led Jordan Childs to be stripped of her bronze medal provides evidence in her favor. And I actually have the write-up that they gave, and I'll put that in I'll post that up after I go through the article itself. The International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, announced on Sunday that the bronze medal given to American gymnast Jordan Childs in the floor exercise at the Paris Games will be awarded to her Romanian counterpart, Ana Barbosu. It comes after a court of arbitration for sports ruling on Saturday that said that the initial inquiry made by the USA over Child's score in Monday's gymnastics floor exercise final was filed after the 1-minute deadline. The U.S. is now appealing that decision, and USA Gymnastics announced Sunday that it has submitted additional evidence to CAS as part of the effort to have gymnast Child's medal reinstated. The organization said it has video evidence conclusively establishing that head coach Cecil Landy's request to file an inquiry was submitted 47 seconds after the publishing of the score within the 1-minute deadline required by FIG rule. The video footage provided was not available to USA Gymnastics prior to the tribunal's decision, and thus USA Gymnastics did not have the opportunity to previously submit it. The International Gymnastics Federation said that Child's original score of 13.6 would be reinstated and that Barbosu's ranking with the score of 13.7 would be improved to third. And the IOC confirmed that the scores change will mean Childs will be stripped of her bronze and given to Barbosu. Following the CAS decision with regard to the women's artistic gymnastics floor exercise final and the amendment of the ranking by the International Gymnastics Federation, the IOC will reallocate the bronze medal to Ana Barbosu of Romania. We are in touch with the NOC of Romania to discuss the reallocation ceremony and with USOPC regarding the return of the bronze medal. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee said on Sunday it would appeal the decision, which I believe they are doing now or are already have done. It says, we firmly believe that Jordan rightfully earned the bronze medal, and there were critical errors in both the initial scoring by the International Gymnastics Federation and the subsequent CAS appeal process that needs to be addressed, the statement read. The initial error occurred in the scoring by FIG, and the second error was during the CAS appeal process, where the US OPC was not given adequate time or notice to effectively challenge the decision. As a result, we were not properly represented or afforded the opportunity to represent our case comprehensively. Given these circumstances, we are committed to pursuing an appeal to help Jordan Chiles receive the recognition she deserves. We remain dedicated to supporting her as an Olympic champion and will continue to work diligently to resolve this matter swiftly and fairly. The rest of it is just repeated quotes, so I'm not going to show that part. So what I'm going to show y'all now is two statements that was given by the USA Gymnastics. This first one is the full statement from them when they initially found out about what they had did, and the next one's going to be the part about the appeal. So this is coming from the official United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. They said, we are devastated by the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling regarding women's floor exercise. The inquiry into the difficulty value of Jordan Chiles' floor exercise routine was filed in good faith, and we believed in accordance with FIG rules to ensure accurate scoring. Throughout the appeal process, Jordan has been subject to consistent, utterly baseless, and extremely hurtful attacks on social media. No athlete should be subject to such treatment. We condemn the attacks and those who engage, support, or instigate them. We commend Jordan for conducting herself with integrity, both on and off the competition floor, and we continue to stand by and support her. So that is the first statement that was given out by the USA Gymnastics Committee. So the next one is the response that they gave to the CAS. They said USA Gymnastics on Sunday will formally submitted a letter and video evidence to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, conclusively establishing that head coach Cecil Landy's request to file an inquiry was submitted 47 seconds after the publishing of the score within the 1-minute deadline required by FIG rule. In the letter, USA Gymnastics requests that the CAS ruling be revised and Chiles' bronze medal score of 13.7 be reinstated. The basis for the CAS ruling on Friday, striking down the inquiry, was that the inquiry submitted on behalf of Ms. Jordan Chiles in the final of the women's floor exercise was raised after the conclusion of the 1-minute deadline provided by Article 8.5 of the 2024 FIG technical regulations and is determined to be without effect. The time-stamped video evidence submitted by USA Gymnastics Sunday evening shows Landy first stated her request to file an inquiry at the inquiry table 47 seconds after the score is posted, followed by a second statement 55 seconds after the score was originally posted. So like they're telling people, we have video proof of this that's undeniable. And we can show it to you right now. The question is, will they actually look at it? The thing is, I'm assuming they probably won't, because it'll actually prove that they were wrong, and it'll make them look even more shady and even more embarrassed. This is the video footage provided was not available to USA Gymnastics prior to the tribunal's decision, and thus USAG did not have the opportunity to previously submit it. Let me see what they're talking about in the chat. FM said there were thousands of cameras in the building with timestamps. Of course, there is evidence, right? Sylvia said, we know the real reason they took the bronze from Jordan Chiles. It was just too much black girl magic on display, and they didn't know how to handle it. Cassie said, give them both the bronze and be done with this. Stripping someone isn't how it should be done. She wasn't disqualified for breaking rules or anything like that. And you want to know what's so funny, Cassie? What you just said about giving them both the bronze, I've seen that comment a whole bunch of times as it pertains to um this situation, this controversy turned scandal that shouldn't even be blown up the way that they're doing it, but I know why they're doing it. Eric H said the 2028 U.S. Women's is sweeping the gymnastics. Listen, they swept it this year. When it comes to gymnastics, the U.S. women pretty much dominate in that for the most part. And then we have comments like Trophy just said, don't, only, no, it should only be one, it should only be one winner. And I do agree, because we're not about to do this participation trophy thing. That's one of my pet peeves, is I don't like that participation trophy award thing. Even if it is on a technicality, there can only be one person that holds that medal. But I'm glad there's a lot of people speaking out about this, and even in support of her. Even if some people didn't even know who this girl, I don't want to say girl because she's 23, this young woman is. I knew about her when they were competing a few years ago. As a matter of fact, they had a gymnastics event at my job that was hosted by Simone Biles. Was this before or after the pandemic? I can't remember. It was I can't remember when exactly it was, and she was there. She was actually there, and another one of the gymnasts, and they were talking to the little girls, like in a pre-show type of thing where the little girls could have like a Q&A with them. So I was familiar with her before this Olympics. So there's that part right there. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to, trying to see, do I want to read this article here? I'm going to bypass this particular article and go to this one. All right, y'all. So let's go to this article right here. That's on the New York Post. That was posted on August the 12th, yesterday, I should say. Jordan Chiles' Olympic bronze not returned despite conclusive evidence as gymnastic controversy rages on. So as of right now, she still has the medal in her possession. And what's going on? And salute to everybody that just came into the chat. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that like button. I would appreciate that. It says Jordan Chiles' bronze medal may be officially lost for good after the Court of Arbitration for Sport would not consider overturning its ruling, despite new evidence from the USA Gymnastics. USA Gymnastics said it possessed video evidence that Coach Cecil Landy's inquiry request into Chiles' floor exercise score at the Paris Olympics came within the 1 minute cutoff time, but that did not sway the CAS to re-examine its previous ruling to return the medal to Romania's Anna Barbosu. So they're basically saying they're sticking to their guns and saying that, yeah, you may have this video evidence. However, we're going to have the final say, even if you have proof that what you're saying is indeed true and that we should just drop the whole thing and let Jordan keep the medal. Oh, this, right? I just want y'all to understand something. This is going to set a huge precedence come the 2028 Olympics. They going to keep their eye, they're not going to forget about this. They are going to remember this 4 years from now. I promise you that. They are going to keep this in the back of their mind and when 2028 rolls around. And exactly, Denise, you said it. I'm right and I say so. USA Gymnastics was notified by the Court of Arbitration for Sport on Monday that their rules did not allow for an arbitral award to be reconsidered, even when conclusive new evidence is presented. So even with evidence presented that they messed up, they still say our ruling stands. It says, we are deeply disappointed by the notification and will continue to pursue every possible avenue and appeal process, including the Swiss Federal Tribunal, to ensure that just scoring, placement, and medal award for Jordan. Barbosu was originally named the bronze medalist during the competition on August the 5th. I think that's a typo because they put April the 5th. But the U.S. submitted a successful request to review Chiles' score, which moved her up to third after the change. Now, look at that. They said she was the bronze winner, but when the U.S. submitted a successful request, it's not like the request was denied. It was a successful request, which means they looked at it and they all agreed unanimously that, okay, after review, Jordan did win, that she did place third. I even had read somewhere that, or heard somewhere that they were going to try to do the same thing with Simone's score because they felt that she underscored, or they underscored her on that floor routine. And they was going to initially argue that. But Simone said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Just let it stand. And I think it's because Simone probably knew what drama would come behind it. And as you can see, what just happened is what's going on with Jordan. You see all the drama that's coming right behind it. And Simone probably knew what would probably end up happening if she did the same thing, especially since all eyes was on her anyway. You know, she's considered the GOAT, you know, the greatest gymnast ever. In some cases, in some circles, the greatest athlete. So Simone just let it stay where it was at. And that's why, and that was the score that she just decided to stay with. And they didn't argue it, they just let it be what it was. 6 days later, the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled that the request was not made in time, nullifying it. Barbosu and teammate Sabrina moved up with a 13.7 score, while Chiles returned to fifth with a 13.6. Chiles still left Paris with the all-around team gold won by the U.S. Sabrina Jordan, my thoughts are with you, said by Barbosu, age 18, who wrote on her story referring to Sabrina, who finished in fourth. I know what you are feeling because I've been through the same, but I know you'll come back stronger. I hope from deep of my heart that at the next Olympics, all three of us will share the same podium. That is my dream. Oh, we're gonna get there, Kate. Okay, oh, we're gonna get there. That right there was a red flag to me. What you just what you just put in that chat, what you just wrote. But we're gonna get there. So there's that article right there. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is another screenshot. Now, this is a screenshot coming from Jordan Child's sister. I'm not sure what her sister's name is, but I do believe it does begin with a J, just like Jordan. So let me read to you what her sister said. And I think this is coming off of maybe Instagram. It looks like it's coming off of Instagram. She said, please keep Jordan and my family in your prayers. Racism is real. It exists, it is alive and well. They have officially 5 days later. Andre said Jasmine. All right, thank you. I thought her name was Jasmine, but I wasn't sure. But I know it began with a J. He says they have officially 5 days later stripped her of one of her medals. And it's crazy because while yes, it's great that Jordan got the gold in the team, that was a team thing. But it hits a little bit different when you win that medal by yourself, because that means it's all dependent on you. Not knocking her for with the team, because that's a team effort at the end of the day. But it hits a little bit different when you get that medal by yourself on your own efforts. It says not because she didn't win, not because she was drugged, not because she stepped out of bounds, not because she wasn't good enough, but because the judges failed to give her difficulty and forced an inquiry to be made. 4 seconds. Her bronze medal was stripped over 4 seconds of time. That would have never needed to happen if the judges did their job. Now, this is a statement again from Jordan Child's sister, Jasmine. And I feel like she's definitely writing that definitely on the behalf of Jordan, because by this time, Jordan's already found out about what happened. She said that she wants to be off of social media for her mental health because she already knows there are going to be a lot of people talking. And it's like, you don't want to see that. You don't want to hear that after something that you worked so hard for, literally 5 days later, gets taken away from you in the blink of an eye, or they're trying to take away from you. Like I said, remember, she's already mind you, the gymnasts like Simone, Jordan, the whole team, by this point, they've already left Paris. They already came back to the States. They've already started to sit down with different news media outlets and started to talk about the experience and all of that, their wins. This woman has already started to talk to people, the media, about her winning gold in the team event and winning bronze in the individual event. Only to a few days later be brought up in the news because they're trying to take her medal away. Oh, I agree, FM. You said Jordan has to go on radio side, and I'm glad she is. I'm glad she is, and it's probably mainly to keep herself at bay, to not say anything that could hurt the situation. Like, let the others pretty much do the speaking for her, because they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to gain from it either. So let others be her mouthpiece for her and let them deal with all the semantics. Tamika said, I would tell them to look in their dirty water to find it. Man, let me tell you, I've seen some comments about this, sort of like in the same vein that Tamika just wrote, but even crazier. But like I said, the woman has a lot of outpouring support. She has a lot of support that I've seen. I've seen more support than not, I would say. So that was a quote from her sister, and that actually segues us into this article right here coming from Vox, where it says the fight over Jordan Child's bronze medal is barely about gymnastics. The Olympian was asked to give her medal back, and the racist attacks began. Are we shocked by this? No, we are not. And shout out to the 212 people that are here so far in the chat. I greatly appreciate you all being in attendance right now. The 2024 Olympics are officially done, but there's one bronze medal that's still hanging in the balance. That medal was initially awarded to American gymnast Jordan Chiles, who won gold with the U.S. team in Paris, placed third in the floor events finals on August the 5th, what feels like eons ago in Olympic time. But this past Saturday, in the eve of the final day of the Games, the International Olympic Committee asked Chiles to give back her bronze, giving it to runner-up Romanian Ana Barbosu. The Olympic officials asking an athlete to give their medal back is an uncommon occurrence, but what makes Child's case even more bizarre is that it largely is the judge's fault. Like I said earlier on in the stream, all of this falls onto the shoulders of the judges. Not Jordan Childs, not even Ana Barbosu. It's the judge's fault for why all of this is happening. And you know what? I hope after this, either y'all don't work with them again, or y'all get a whole new panel to run that. Childs was initially underscored, then scored properly, and then told nearly a week later that her correct score shouldn't count because her coaches didn't catch the error within 1 minute. That's the simple reason why her medal is now being taken away. This kerfuffle isn't going to do any favors for the credibility of gymnastics, a sport that's already scored subjectively. The fact that Team USA is appealing the decision will only draw out this negative press. Unfortunately for Child, she's now caught in a crossfire that's become much nastier and uglier as this bronze medal saga unfolds. If there's one thing to understand about Chiles's bronze medal saga, is that it has barely anything to do with the level of gymnastics Chiles or her competitors performed at the floor events finals last week. Chiles's powerful tumbling passes, landings, and leaps on the apparatus are secondary to the technicalities. During the events finals on floor, Chiles was originally given a score of 13.6. Team USA and Chiles's coach Cecil Landy filed an inquiry with the judging panel arguing that they had incorrectly scored the routine and didn't give Chiles credit for a split leap called the Tort Jet Full. The judges reviewed and agreed with that inquiry and upped Chiles' score to 13.7. The 13.7 was a high enough score to get Chiles a bronze, pushing Romania's Barbosu and Sabrina off the podium. Both gymnasts scored a 13.7, but Barbosu won the tiebreaker. While the Romanian team fielded multiple inquiries, including one about Sabrina's score, the major dispute that triggered this medal debacle is about the timing of Team USA's scoring inquiry. The official rules state that Landy's inquiry of Chiles' score had to be filed within 1 minute of her score. Romania argued that Landy made the inquiry 1 minute and 4 seconds after getting Chiles' score. Those 4 seconds, Romania argued, put the U.S. over the time limit and should have nullified Chiles' new score. The International Gymnastics Federation and the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled in Romania's favor officially, and as of this moment, Barbosa's score of 13.7 is credited as the third place bronze medal finish, and Chiles' score has been pushed back down to 13.6. To reflect the ruling, the International Olympic Committee ordered Chiles to return her medal. In response to the IOC's ruling, Team USA announced that it has submitted additional evidence to the CAS that the inquiry was filed within the time limit not once but twice. On Monday, USA Gymnastics said in a statement that it was notified by the CAS that its rules do not allow for an arbitral award to be reconsidered even when conclusive new evidence is presented. USA Gymnastics said it will continue to pursue additional avenues for an award for Chiles. Now, let me kind of go down a little bit more. Where it says people can't stop being racist toward Jordan Chiles. I'm not surprised by that. This mess, of course, doesn't happen in a bubble. In fact, this medal situation undoes an Olympic milestone. Chiles, her teammate Simone Biles, and Brazil's Rebecca Andrade were the first all-black podium in the game's history. While that was a triumph for many and seen as growth for the sport, it's not exactly a coincidence that racist and far-right personalities have latched onto the story of the rescinded bronze. Like many sports, gymnastics itself has a thorny history of racism and treatment of black athletes. It wasn't too long ago that Biles faced racist attacks ranging from belittling her skills to coded talk about how the multiple gold medal winner made the sport less elegant with her power. Oh, don't forget about that Russian coach, the one who kept saying they needed to try to remove some, like ban some of her moves or something like that because they were too difficult or something like that. I talked about her back in February. I think that woman's still trying to make something shape, but it fell on deaf ears. Black female athletes like Serena Williams has also faced similar discrimination in their sports. The aforementioned right-wing personalities and racists are now peddling narratives about how the Olympics cheated white gymnasts out of medals, or saying that black athletes like Chiles are cheaters themselves. Pundit Matt Walsh, Lord, oh my goodness, called the 2024 games the DEI Olympics. And people want to sit up here and say that DEI is not code speak for black. Let me repeat that again. Matt Walsh called the 2024 games the DEI Olympics. It didn't take long for those sentiments to metastasize into disgusting behavior as racists began to personally attack Jordan. Amid the medal returning saga, Jordan said she was taking a break from social media. Chiles' mom, Gina, posted on Twitter that her daughter was receiving racist attacks. Her mother said the racist, disgusting comments are still happening in 2024. I'm tired of people who say it no longer exists. My daughter is a highly decorated Olympian with the biggest heart and a level of sportsmanship that is unmatched. And she is being called disgusting things. Seeing Chiles receive these attacks and have to shut down her public accounts is just depressingly bleak. Medal or no medal, Chiles' Olympics a once in a lifetime experience. Twice, if you're as fit and skilled as Jordan, will be marred by the racism and bigotry she faced following the judges' mistakes. All Jordan Chiles did was compete, and she did so under the impression that she would be judged fairly. The people running Olympic gymnastics didn't allow her that opportunity. FN, let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. FM says PCs use DEI to trigger, ignore it. Sylvia said all black athletes in every sport should form their own black sports league. John said, y'all can't cut it now. It's the DEI Olympics. Matt Walsh is a joke. Graveshot said Matt Walsh is one of those typical weirdo white wing white boys, right? The Church of Black Power says, what happened to being a proud patriot? Oh, I'm glad you said that, the Church of Black Power. Because remember, these are the same ones that got upset because Caitlin Clark wasn't on the U.S. women's team. And I had told people, I said, watch, if the U.S. women's lose, they're going to be out there in full force saying that they're crap all over X. And guess what? The U.S. women's team won. They won like by a hair, but they won. And guess what? They were still on there. I believe they probably had those posts saved in their drafts, and they sent them out anyway. And the reason why I say that is because when I looked at how the posts were phrased, they were framed in a way that if they had lost, it would have still sounded a certain way. Dan Man says, did you hear about what just happened to the black high jumper Shelby McEwen? Is that he had to give up his gold for silver over New Zealand because they tied. See, that I never heard about that. That's my excuse me. That's my first time hearing about it. So he had to give up his gold because they tied. Y'all can keep saying what it is and what it is, but we know what it is. East Point said before Simone and Gabby, there was Olympian gymnast Dominique Dawes, and she's from PG County. It says the first black female gymnast. They gave her a harder time back in the 90s. I actually saw her floor routine and they banned it because I can't really describe it, but she, you know how like the gymnasts when they're on the floor, they do that tumble, the backflip and all of that from one corner to the next, and they do a little pose and everything like that. Dominique did from one corner to another corner and then immediately back from that corner to the corner she just flipped from, and they banned it. Much like that black, the French, I think she's the black French ice skater who did the backflip, and they banned it. And as a way to get back at them, she did it again, but landed on one skate. She said, I already know that that I'm disqualified. So to finish off my routine, I'm gonna give y'all one more backflip, but I'm gonna land on one skate. Like I said, it's some shady stuff. It has been going on for years. Like I said, we can't. I keep telling y'all, we can't help if we just got it like that. It just is what it is. Y'all just gonna be upset again when 4 years come from now and it's on the home front. Denise, yeah, that's her name. I can't pronounce it, but yes, that's her name. The ice skater that did the backflip. Let's go on to the next article, y'all. We only got two more after this one. So this one says CAS won't reconsider ruling that effectively stripped Jordan Chiles of the bronze medal. I probably don't have to go completely through all of this, but yeah, it's pretty much saying the same thing that what one of the other articles was saying, that they are deciding that they're not going to reconsider the ruling, that they're standing firm that they're going to come for that medal. And they're going to basically strip it away from her. That's basically what they're saying. Oh, yeah, Sylvia, I remember the comments about Gabby Douglas, especially the ones about her hair. I'll never forget that one. And the unfortunate part about that one, there was a lot of black women that was saying stuff about her hair. That was the London Games back in 2012. They tried to do the same thing recently with Simone. I'm like, they're gymnasts. They're out here doing all these impossible maneuvers that the average person can't do. Some people can't do a basic cartwheel. These women out here doing back flips and front flips on balance beams and jumping off of vaults and tumbling from one corner to the next. How did you expect their hair to look? It's like, damn, it's like 1 minute you complaining because they're not wearing their natural hair, and the next minute when they are wearing their natural hair and doing what they're doing, you still got a problem. Which, by the way, in case y'all were unaware, all the hair that Simone has tied up in that bun when she's performing, that's all of her hair. For those who were unaware, Simone Biles has a lot of hair on her head that grows out of her hair. And if they're not talking about Simone Biles' hair, they're talking about her husband and her marriage. We understand. Y'all probably wish that Simone Biles was with a white man. That way it could feast into your divester fantasy. And she ruined that for you. And they're the same ones right there sitting up there probably banking that they get a divorce so they can say, ha, 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 I told you so. Stop being a pick-me. I don't even know how I even got to that. I don't even know how I segued into that. Right there, I already spoke about that. Same ones out there talking about that can't even do a basic tumble, which is just you rolling your body forward. So I'm gonna bypass this article right here because it's basically a rehashing. Now, this one right here literally raises the most red flags for me. And somebody in the chat actually jumped the gun a little bit and brought it up, but I don't know if anyone else caught it. And that is this right here. It says the head of the panel that ruled against Jordan Chiles represents Romania in other cases. Now, would you look at that? Now, would you check that out? Isn't that interesting? Exactly, PDD remains. No one is mentioning how that looks like a conflict of interest. The head of a panel that ruled that the American gymnast Jordan Chiles had to give up her Olympic bronze medal in favor of a Romanian athlete has represented Romania for almost a decade in arbitration cases, documents show. The three members of a special tribunal convened for the Olympics by the Court of Arbitration for Sport after Romania lodged a complaint ruled that a successful appeal made by Chiles' coach over the points awarded to her in the floor exercise competition was initiated 4 seconds late. The Romanian athlete Ana Barbosu was awarded the bronze medal as a result of the panel's decision, and Chiles was dropped to 5th place. The result left Chiles brokenhearted. It took away her only individual medal at the games and means her appearance on the podium, the first all-black medal stand at a gymnastics event for the Olympics, is now left with an asterisk. Chiles posted 4 broken heart emojis on a black background on social media, and later said she was stepping away from social media altogether amid a torrent of racial abuse. The decision to reallocate the medals in the floor exercise outraged the U.S. Olympic and gymnastics officials, and who have threatened to take their fight to the Swiss courts. The revelation that Hamid G. Garavi, a member of the panel who took part in the decision to resolve the dispute in favor of a Romanian team, despite having a long relationship with Romania's government, is sure to inflame the case further. Very little is known about the deliberation and how the panel reached its verdict, with the court publishing a 1-page statement confirming the decisions it made. A detailed document outlining the full reason behind the outcome will eventually be sent to all parties involved. USA Gymnastics said on Monday it had been notified by the court that under its rules, the decision cannot be reconsidered even when conclusive new evidence is presented. Like I said, they have now stuck their heels into the ground and said, look, you can bring all the evidence you want, but when we say that this is what it is, that's final. The Gymnastics Federation said it would continue to pursue every possible avenue for an appeal, including before the Swiss Federal Tribunal. That body, the only one that can hear an appeal against a decision by CAS, the sports court, only considers breaches of process and not the new evidence related to the case itself. In 2021, the Swiss court famously requested a new hearing for a doping case involving a top Chinese swimmer whose lawyers successfully represented evidence that the chair of the tribunal may have had an anti-Chinese bias based on his social media posts. Under the court's rules, panel members, including the chair, must complete a conflict of interest form before reviewing each case that lists 3 possible outcomes. The first and third are explicit, revealing no conflict or a conflict so significant that they would require their recusing themselves from a case. The second is more nuanced, allowing arbitrators to reveal potential conflicts, but giving them a chance to explain why the potential conflict should not prevent them from hearing a case. Details first published by the International Institute for Conflict Resolution and Prevention, a nonprofit organization, show that Mr. Garavi, the presiding arbitrator in the hearing and a lawyer based in France, is currently serving as legal counsel to Romania in disputes at the World Bank's Organ International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes. Mr. Garavi works on behalf of Romania, dates back almost a decade. This actually just got a whole lot deeper than what is initially being put out there. Under the sports court rules, arbitrators are required to complete conflict of interest declarations before every hearing. The issue is whether an Olympic arbitrator who currently represents a country on the global stage can decide a case involving a gymnast of that country in an unbiased manner. 3 arbitration experts wrote in an opinion published on the Institute for Conflict Resolution's website. Is it realistic to expect such arbitrator can decide against the interests of that country or of that country's gymnast, who in this case is represented by the Federation of Romanian Gymnasts? Mr. Garavi said he could not comment on anything related to the case and suggested all such inquiries be directed to CAS, which is charged with serving as the final arbiter on global sports disputes. The court said in an email that Mr. Garavi had disclosed his work with Romania in writing that none of the parties involved in the hearing had objected to his appointment as the panel's chair. In accordance with the guidelines on conflicts of interest issued by the International Bar Association, CAS has no reason to remove an arbitrator making such disclosure if the parties do not object to his or her appointment. Catherine Simpson, an international arbitrator and one of authors of the opinion piece that first disclosed Mr. Garavi's work for Romania, said that even if none of the parties objected, his work on behalf of Romania was significant and meant he would automatically have had to recuse himself under the IBA's so-called red list of non-waivable activities. I don't understand, especially given the visibility of the case, why he was proposed for this case and why he did not refuse the case when it was first offered. Mr. Garavi won a case on behalf of Romania as recently as June, and his biography on his firm's website lists Romania as a regular client. The court later issued a separate statement confirming that it could not reopen the case. It said all the parties involved had what is described as ample opportunities to present their arguments and objections. New evidence it found could be used to ask the Swiss Federal Tribunal to order the case be reopened, and the CAS would also reopen the case spontaneously if all parties agreed. Such an outcome, however, is extremely rare. CAS rulings are almost always the final word in such cases, with the Swiss tribunal typically rejecting most appeals of the rulings. But the Chiles case is likely to bring new scrutiny via how such matters are handled in international sports. Cases are almost always heard behind closed doors, with the full rationales for decisions sometimes limited to just the parties involved in cases, leaving sports fans and athletes unsure about what exactly why certain outcomes have been reached. And before we go any further, shout out to Live from NYC for the 20. They said Chiles was still officially photographed on the podium. They can't take that back. You're right about that. The videos are, that image is already going viral. People have already screenshot it. Some people probably already had it framed. Plus, she still want to go with the team. Paris was on some straight smuckery from beginning to end. I thank you for that statement and for the contribution. So just like PD that remains said before I started reading this article, it seems like there's some conflict of interest definitely there. But like I said, like we've said, I'm white and I say so, even on a global scale. Now, the last article that I'm going to read to you, and I have to give a huge shout out to Flavor Flav for this gesture, because he didn't have to do this. And as y'all know, Flavor Flav was in attendance at the Olympics. Of course, a lot of people kept talking about Snoop because, Snoop made sure his presence was known. But shout out to Flavor Flav for doing this, because he heard about what happened with Jordan Chiles, as everyone has. And he said, you know what? They might try to take your medal, but I'm going to give you something. So, in true Flavor Flav fashion, and I would only expect him to do this, as we all know, one of the symbols of Flavor Flav is that big clock that he would wear around his neck, especially back in the day when he was with Public Enemy. That was like his thing. So he decided he got a custom bronzed clock made for Jordan. And here's a picture of it right here. He posted it up on his Instagram page. He had it custom made. He had it made with bronze. He looks like he put some diamonds on there, and it's in a form of a clock. And he made that for her. So shout out to Flavor Flav for doing that. And I'm gonna actually go and read the article itself coming from TMZ. It says Flavor Flav is a man of his words. Just hours after promising to get Jordan Chiles a custom bronze clock to help ease the blow of her losing her Olympic medal, he came through with it. So check it out. The rapper posted a video of the new piece on his Instagram page late Monday night, and it's awesome. So that's what it looks like right here, if y'all can see it on the screen. So shout out to Flavor Flav for, doing that. He says the clock has what appears to be a bunch of bronze-plated stones all over it, and Flav, who became a face of this year's Olympics for the way he sponsored the USA women's water polo team, was clearly pleased with how it came out. He shouted out the jeweler Rock and Stones for creating it so quickly, while imploring Chiles to reach out to him so he can send it her way. He said, "I got your back," he told the gymnast. Of course, it might be a minute for the 23-year-old sees it. As she stated last week, she's taking a break from social media. Well, I'm sure her mother and her sister and anyone else is probably going to hear about it. So I'm sure she's going to receive it. And I'm sure that's definitely going to lift her spirits about it. So shout out to Flavor Flav for doing that. That's a very good gesture. I said, say what you want about Flavor Flav, but that was a dope thing that he did. And I wanted to end, and that's the last article right there. I wanted to end it off on a rather good note with this one, because everything leading up to it was just like, it was doom and gloom. So shout out again to Flavor Flav for pulling that off, and rather quickly. It looks nice. It looks really nice too. Like, that's real right there. You know what? Let's just hypothetically say she has, excuse me. Let's hypothetically say she has to return the medal. Do you know I will be walking around wearing this? And Integra, that's the comment right there. As much negativity Black people get, we do look out for each other. So there's that right there. But yeah, man, this whole situation, it's a lot. It's a lot. But you know what? I can only speak on it from someone on the outside looking in. But I can only imagine what it's like going on for her, because she's the one that at the end of the day is like in the center of all of it. Like someone said in another article, she's in the middle of the crossfire. So I'm sure she's not going to let that completely get her down, but at the end of the day, it is disappointing. It is sad. Like she said, it is heartbreaking. And it's like, just wow. All I'm going to say is this. When the 2028 Olympics rolls around, they better tighten up. Sylvia says, the race. They got way more on their plate than to be worrying about this, to be quite honest with you. We know why they gonna say something that gives them clicks and the views. But like I said, at the end of the day, the USA women's basketball team still won without Caitlin Clark. And even like I said, I knew with even them winning, they were still gonna have something to say, and they did. But anyway, y'all, that is going to bring this stream to a close. Shout out to everybody that came through. We maxed out at about 225, about 230 here on the stream. I appreciate everybody who came through. Shout out to Live from NYC for the contribution. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to all of the members over here, everybody on Patreon. Again, if you are on Patreon, the video, the 8 p.m. video will be up today in about 3 hours. So be on the lookout for that. There won't be another live from me until Friday. Initially, this live was going to be tomorrow because I didn't want to do back-to-back date like lives. But then I realized I was going to be busy around this time tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be busy around this time too. So Friday will be the next live that I do. So be back for that. Of course, there will be a premiere video tomorrow at 12 p.m. So look out for that as well. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to all of the mods. And I will talk to you all in the next one.